morning. And welcome. Welcome to the Severn Valley Railway. Welcome to this wonderful event to kick off all our celebrations for the Queen's Jubilee party. Alongside me, my name is Mark Moore. I'm the chairman of the Holders Company, and alongside me is Helen Smith, who's our managing director.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Jubilee celebrations. It's fantastic to see the whole country coming together to, hand in hand to really pay tribute to the Queen. This is the first time in history that anybody has served for 70 years on the throne, and she's done a fantastic job. So we're doing our best here at Severn Valley Railway to celebrate that and mark that momentous occasion. So thank you for choosing to share that with us. It means a lot to us. We've put a lot of effort into everything that we've done. You can see the logo behind us here. So thank you for joining us, and I'll pass back to the chairman.
Okay, thank you, Helen. This is not going to take long, but on an occasion like this, I think we just need to thank and recognise some of the people who have made this event possible. I want first of all to thank the owners of the loco. It doesn't belong to the Severn Valley Railway. It's privately owned but lives here, and the owners are Tor Valley Limited, and we have representatives from Tor Valley with us here today. Helen will be talking to them again when we move to the unveiling of the name, whatever that might be. I'm sure nobody knows yet. I think some people do. So I do want to thank them because they agreed to this transformation and the repaint of the locomotive without hesitation and have been totally supportive of putting this locomotive front and centre to our Jubilee celebrations. I think you'll all agree that it looks magnificent in this livery that we have here today, and I want to mention one guy by name, and that's Ronan O'Brien. Ronan is down there by the cab. He's one of our staff within our carriage and wagon support and maintenance organisation. Oh, you said you weren't going to come up here. You said. I said to him, I said, you've got to come up here because I want to talk about you. And he said, no, I don't want to do that. And then his boss said, you have to come. So that's fine. But I want to recognise Ronan because when you look at this locomotive, look at the paintwork, look at the finish, this guy led the team very much hands-on and hand-painted this locomotive within a couple of weeks of starting. So Ronan, brilliant job. Thank you very much. A couple of other people to just mention and recognise. Our paint supplier, T.R. Williamson, who mixed and prepared the pots of paint that were delivered to Ronan to put on the locomotive. Thank you very much for doing that. I want to thank our friends from Arley Arboretum. Those of you that haven't had a chance to look at the front of the loco yet, there's a beautiful floral tribute there which they have made and donated. It will run on the front of the locomotive while it's working during these celebrations. And finally, I just want to mention our own visitor services and marketing and communications people, who said, without the efforts that they put in, this would not have been possible. You might not know, but I want to tell you that the naming of this locomotive, the selection of the name and the voting for which name to use was a public event. Some 4,500 people in our local community took part in that to select the name that we're going to see in a few moments. So it just shows the level at which our teams have worked to actually engage with the wider community. They've also put the whole event together. They put the event together and every aspect of it from the start today all the way through the weekend. So I just want to pay dedication to the guys. I'm not going to mention you by name, I won't embarrass you, but thank you very much for doing that. You've done a fantastic job.
Okay, as you can see, we're under time constraints today, so we're going to get through this as fast as we can because we don't want to hold up the timetable. Obviously, we have to be on time, being a heritage railway. So I would like to thank all the VIPs for joining us today. We've got the Mayor of Kidderminster with us, and we are also very lucky to have the Deputy Lord Lieutenant Viscount Cobham with us of Hagley Hall, so very much linked with the Severn Valley Railway. We are going to see Hagley Hall back in steam, I'm going to say this year. Okay, somebody touch some wood. Can I introduce Viscount Cobham to do a little speech? Thank you.
Good morning. It'll be a very little speech. I'm delighted to be with you as we celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. A very special day indeed, and unprecedented in our history. As Deputy Lieutenant, I'm representing Patrick Holcroft, our Lord Lieutenant, who's the personal representative of the Queen in Worcestershire. And he would love to have been here himself. He's unfortunately stuck in London at some do up there, I think it's going on. This magnificent engine was only a few years old when I first saw the Queen, and I was standing in my short pants with the rest of my brothers and sisters on the A456 as she swept by in her car on one of her first tours of the country after her accession. Very exciting. And I just sort of reflect a little bit on the fact that she of course was born before this engine was. The engine was, I think, just after the war, and she was active during the war. But she's given her entire life to the country. I suppose heritage, by and large, is what we take forward out of history. And so it's very appropriate that we're celebrating today the Queen's Jubilee with this lovely engine and these colours. But the Queen also has inspired, and us, I think, over the years. She's changed with the years, and she's given unstintingly of her time and her energy to us all. There's little really that I want to add to that, because she's been part of all of our lives, and each of us will have different moments in her life that we will remember. But all of us, I think, with tremendous gratitude. God save the Queen.
And I'd like to introduce Mark Younger now, who is one of the owners of Tor Valley, who are very brave in letting us paint their wonderful loco a very bright purple.
Thank you, Helen, and good morning. We've had a long association, Tor Valley Limited, myself, Nigel Barnes here, and Phil Swallow, who unfortunately can't be with us because he's sick. 21 years ago, we bought the engine from the late Bert Hitchin, who restored her. And since then, she's been on the Severn Valley, apart from when she's been being overhauled, which was also done here. So a long history where she's worked here. And when we were approached by Helen earlier this year to see whether we'd agree to repaint her for this special event, we obviously leapt at the opportunity. Not just to wind up the enthusiast fraternity with a non-authentic livery, though that's always a joy. And I can assure you she will return sometimes to her original Hogwarts, BR livery. Sometime. But we were delighted for three reasons. Firstly, to echo what Viscount Cobham has said, to celebrate the wonderful service of Her Majesty the Queen to this country and to all of us over the past 70 years. And I think from the railway enthusiast community, what better than to do something like this. Secondly, to support the Severn Valley Railway. The past 2 years of COVID have been very difficult for the railway, both operationally and financially, and we want to help having major events, major things people want to come and see and come and ride on the railway. So that was the second thing. And the third thing is we just thought it would be a lot of fun. So here we are, hopefully it's going to be fun. Thank you.
Mark and Nigel to unveil the secret name that nobody knows what it is.
going to be a tremendous surprise for everybody.
If I could ask everybody to stand, please, for the national anthem. Thank you, everyone. That concludes the ceremony for today. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks everyone.
Stand just there for me. That's it, I can go and get the train. And you. Are you going to smile at me? Smile.